afternoon, guys. That's weird. That's better. Welcome back to the Sullivan family. I was going to talk to the cat. That's why I laid down like that and then realised that's weird. But anyway, look, he's just chilling. He's actually, I think he might bite me. I don't think he wants any. We'll just leave him alone. Anyway, it's Saturday afternoon. They've all gone to the cinema this afternoon to see the Minecraft movie. So originally, Isabel and Elizabeth were going to take all the little ones to see the Minecraft movie because they secretly wanted to go and see it as well. But then what happened was Elizabeth had forgotten that she was also going away this weekend with some friends. So Isabel and Ben have taken the kids to go and see the Minecraft movie. Well, most of them have gone. Not all of them, most of them. But I didn't know whether Florence would sit. She's been okay at the theatre where she can kind of get up and move about a bit, whereas the cinema was fully booked and I knew she wouldn't be able to get up and move around. And she wasn't really worried about going. She just wanted to go and get ice cream, to be honest. So I couldn't go anyway because I'm on pickup duty. Olivia was finishing work at 2, so I dropped them off in town, or the extra ones. Obviously Ben couldn't fit everybody in one car, so I dropped them off and then went through to pick Olivia up and went and got an ice cream with Florence, so she didn't miss out. We've got to go back in a minute and pick them up again after the film, so it did actually look packed. So anyway, yeah, they've gone off to do that. Now, nothing has gone to plan at all today. Nothing has gone to plan at all this week. The problem is, if we have a lie-in in the morning, and by lie-in, I mean like 6 a.m, maybe 6:30, I lose like an hour and a half in the morning because I'm normally up at 5, 5:15. And in that hour and a half, obviously it has a knock-on effect for the rest of the day. So this morning, I was planning on going through all the clothes that I've taken out of the twins' drawers. So we've been desperately trying to catch up by going through everyone's clothes. I did Toby's the other day, got rid of all the stuff that's too small or he doesn't wear and all those sorts of things. And the twins, I've been I haven't filmed it, mainly because I've been doing a bit at a time. So when I've known that something's too small, I've been taking it out. So it hasn't kind of been a full changeover for them because they've still got some bits that fit them. Randomly, they've still got some 7 to 8 stuff that fits them, like t-shirts and stuff. So it's kind of, do you know what I mean? I've just done bits at a time, but we finally finished yesterday. Also, they've obviously been trying things on, and that's not gonna, go on a camera. So I've now got like 5 bags of stuff that I need to go through and put away or split down, because obviously it's twin stuff, so one half I'll keep for Agnes and the other half I'll get rid of or sell or whatever. Some of the stuff isn't good for either because it's marked and just stretched out of shape and stuff like that, so that will need to go in the bin anyway. But that was my job for this morning, but that did not happen because I took Liv to work and then came back. By the time I got back, put the washing out, did another load of washing, did a reel and some other social media stuff. It's lunchtime. And then we had lunch and I took them into town. Then I went round, picked Liv up again, went for ice cream, came home, and now I'm filming this, and then I've got to go back out, and then I've got to come back, and then I've got to take Noah to work. So the days, this is what happens to our days. In amongst, obviously, I've put 2 loads of washing out on the line because it's sunny and I can get my washing out on the line, which is amazing. Love being able to get my washing out on the line. I have just noticed that a pair of blue shorts I put out there for Ben have been pooed on by the birds. This is the problem with putting stuff on the line. So now they have to be rewashed, which is annoying. But anyway, so yeah, today is just a reflection really of how the entire week has gone. This is kind of the whole week. Obviously Monday was shopping. That takes up quite a bit of the day. Even though I go in the morning now, you're still putting it away at like 1 o'clock, lunch, then it's kind of, 2 o'clock. You've got a few hours, and then it's tea time. Tuesday, I don't know what we did on Tuesday. I can't actually remember. Wednesday we went to Landmark. Thursday I had to clean the bathroom. Now, whilst these things sound quite simple, what you've got to remember as well is we have older ones who we're taking around and about. It's not just the little ones. Obviously, a lot of focus goes on the little ones and that sort of thing, but behind the scenes, there's lots of other stuff going on. So yeah, the week has just been like that. What happened yesterday? I don't even know what happened yesterday. What happened on Friday? I feel like I just drove around for like the whole day. I don't even remember. I know that Elizabeth has gone away for the weekend. Charlotte came back from being away. She'd been away for a few days. She came back. I don't even know. Oh, I finished going through their clothes. I just said that a minute ago. Anyway, yeah. So it's been like that this week. Obviously, there's been lots of outdoor time for the little ones. They have spent the majority of the week in the garden, which has been amazing because they have been fresh air all over the place. They've been for a few walks, but mainly they've spent time in the garden mainly this week, and they've loved it. They've loved getting back outside. They've got their acromats, they've got their trampoline. It's been a nice week for them. Just a relax. Oh, they did some Easter crafting yesterday as well because the weather wasn't so good yesterday morning. So they did some crafting, some Easter crafting. They've made some Easter eggs to go on the wall. They've decorated an Easter tree, which Ben picked from the garden. Took off the bush. Looks very good. So yeah. Look at my cat. He's just chilling. So yeah, that's been the week, really, to be honest. It's just gone in a blur. But lots has been done. Ben's been out doing the garden and I've been in sorting the house and outside, and there's been ice creams and there's been trips to the shop and all sorts of things. So I got lots of Mother's Day presents last weekend, which I got a really lovely Pandora charm bracelets downstairs from some of the older girls. I got a voucher to have my eyebrows done. And this from Noah. It came this morning. Sue gave it to me this morning. So pretty, isn't it? So now I've got 2 necklaces. But yeah, I was very lucky. But yeah, this came this morning. Anyway, it's also been a week. Just have a little bit of a talk about this. It's also been a week of some really awful people coming onto my accounts. Some really awful people. So obviously we get trolled a lot. You know, there is obviously people who like making money out of our videos by dissecting them and remaking them for themselves. Mainly because they have no content of their own. So they have to use other people's. And yeah, we're used to trolls. And the majority of the time, just whatever. But I think the thing is, when you think about trolls, really bad reflection on my glasses, I'm sorry. Try to look at a different angle, but it doesn't work. When you think about trolls, you think of people in their mum's back room with food all down their clothes in London, or people in their dingy little flat in Wales who never leave their house, and their computer is like their only friend. And really, you've got to feel sorry for them because that's their entire life. So whilst we're out here doing all our stuff and having, time with our family, and we have the most amazing children and we get to spend every day with them, they don't have very happy lives. Now, whilst we've got a few of those trolls, and that is how most people look at trolls, and it's kind of easy to ignore those ones because, that's what they are. That's not actually a very big percentage of them. Now, obviously, we've got some amazing followers, and our amazing followers outweigh the trolls in any way, shape or form. But there are probably 90% of the people that troll me directly are women. They are women, usually in their late 50s, 60s. Like I said, not always. We have other ones, but they are the majority, which really saddens me. I just think, and they're not just that, they are people that you would meet in the street and see as normal people. You might even speak to them in the shop or wherever they work, or just normal people. And that's kind of the worrying thing. That normal people, just, you think they are normal, but when they get online, they are vicious and vile. Now, obviously, I shared a reel this week on Autism Awareness Day about Joseph. But it wasn't just about Joseph. It was about inclusion and acceptance for autism, ADHD, neurodiversity, should I say, across the board, and how the world is not accepting of these things. And some of the comments from a few people were awful, really awful, mainly about the fact that we don't have an official diagnosis for Joseph, because obviously it's very difficult with Joseph because he's homeschooled. So he is under the paediatrician, trying to get an actual official diagnosis. But because they don't have a third party input, they need that for an actual. Anybody that's been through the system will know this. And to be honest, it's just a piece of paper. Now, people might say, if it's just a piece of paper, why are you chasing a diagnosis? I'm chasing a diagnosis exactly for that reason, so that people are supposedly supposed to be more accepting. If you have a piece of paper, or you have an official diagnosis from somebody in the medical profession, apparently people will supposedly be more accepting of you, which we all know is utter rubbish as well, because people will say what they say. And that is the only reason we're chasing a diagnosis for Joseph, for him, so that he can be more accepting, not necessarily of himself, but so that other people can accept him more. This is the thing that worries me most about people, neurodiversity and all that sort of stuff is, I don't mean all that sort of stuff, you know what I mean, is the world and how far behind people are and how awful people can be, and the things that people can say. Now, whether or not you have an official diagnosis, if you are a parent of somebody who is chasing a diagnosis or has children who you know are on the spectrum, or you yourself are on the spectrum, and you know you are, and you've probably fought with it for years and years and years and haven't got that official diagnosis, my cat is snoring, you know how difficult it can be, because it puts you in a group where you don't really know where you fit. Can I access support because I don't have an official diagnosis? Can I speak about my child who I know has autism because I don't have an official diagnosis? So therefore, but at the moment, the waiting list for CAMS, which is what he's on, is 4 to 7 years. So am I supposed to keep quiet for the next 7 years and not share my experience, share my worries, ask for support, ask for help, because I don't have an official piece of paper that says what I already know? Somebody, as a parent, as a mother, who spends nearly every single day with that child. No? Now, the majority of you will understand where I'm coming from, and they'll be like, no, exactly. Although I know there'll be plenty of people who don't have a diagnosis, who are fighting for a diagnosis for their child or for themselves, and you will know exactly how I feel, because it puts you in a group where you don't really know, do I comment on things? Do I not comment on things? Am I allowed to talk about it? Am I not allowed to talk about it? Do you know what? You are allowed to talk about it. You are allowed to talk about it. Because you are part of the group as well. Just because you don't have that official diagnosis, you are part of that group. Yeah. Don't let people gaslight you into thinking that you're not part of that group. There'll only be people that do that probably are not part of that group. Or just, I do come across the odd, they call themselves fellow autism parents, and the majority of the community are amazing. The majority of comments I get are so supportive, and some people have given me some absolutely amazing ideas as well as what to help Joseph and to do with Joseph and things like that, and the support has been incredible. But I have had the odd one, as I'm sure a lot of people have, where you get an odd comment from somebody who apparently knows autism, that sort of thing. That is not so nice. But the majority are, and the community itself is very, very supportive. But don't think for a second that you can't be part of that community because you don't have an official diagnosis, that you can't speak about your issues, your problems, you can't ask for support because you don't have an official diagnosis, because that's absolute rubbish. If you need support and you need help, you can talk. You can ask. Yeah, you can ask for support. You can talk about things. Don't ever let anybody make you think that you can't. So I had somebody come onto my Instagram this morning and say that Joseph doesn't have autism because he makes eye contact with people and he likes hugs, so he can't have autism. And that they were a medical professional and they knew about this and that he couldn't. So number one, that's utter crap, because plenty of people with autism make eye contact. It's such an old, that used to be one of the things that they would use many years ago, before any people understood properly about autism. That was one of the things that people used, or that, all autistic people don't make eye contact. There used to be a checklist. It's so outdated, it's unreal, absolutely outdated. So number one, that's utter rubbish. Number two, Joseph likes hugs on Joseph's terms. Some people with autism love hugs, some people hate hugs. Joseph doesn't mind them on Joseph's terms, but he wouldn't hug you if he didn't want to. Autistic children and people can be extremely loving. Again, another old kind of trait of people with autism, that they couldn't be loving, they couldn't be caring, they didn't have it in them. I mean, they're not a different species. They're still human beings, just like you and me. Do you know what I mean? This kind of outdated view is just incredibly insulting. I mean, this person obviously had a problem with me. I've blocked them before because they've made comments on other pages, mainly to me. So it's obviously they have a problem with me as a parent. They think they went on to say how I'm destroying my children's lives, how I'm wrecking their lives, etc., etc. And basically trying to gaslight me into thinking, their point was they thought that Joseph didn't have autism, but I do, because I only care about my needs and my wants. I mean, number one, so what if I have? And number two, what? I run around all day after my family. I have my hair done once every 6 weeks. I have a shower in the morning. I suppose that's me time as well. And I do go to bed at night, so I suppose that's me time. But the rest of my days are spent with my children. And you might think that because I don't spend all my time with my younger children, that I'm not doing anything. But keeping a house and cooking meals and doing the shopping and doing the washing and running around after the older children, that's doing stuff for my family. And that is pretty much the majority of my day. So normally I'm doing academic stuff with the little ones in the mornings. But yeah, I'm normally the one running around after the older ones. Ben's normally the one in the house with the younger ones, or out on walks with the younger ones. And I'm normally the ones, we have to split it down. There's only two of us. Yeah, there's a lot of children. So we have to split down the responsibilities. And as he was away working a lot when the older children were young, he missed that portion of their lives. And he doesn't want to miss that portion with the younger ones, which is why he spends a lot more time with them doing stuff than maybe I do. I mean, there's other parts that we don't film. I'm obviously here all the time. There's morning time, there's bedtime, there's all those, doesn't all get filmed. But yeah, when it comes down to the split of duties, I probably spend more time running after the older ones. He spends more time taking the younger ones out for walks and stuff. It's just the way it goes. I was lucky enough to be able to do all of that stuff with my older children when they were younger. So yeah, it's kind of, he wants to be able to do that as well. He missed out on all of that. So, it's just the way things work. We still have a house to run. We still have washing to do. There's still shopping, all those sorts of things. And yeah, they do fall to me normally. That's just the division of labour and how it goes in our house. But anyway, back to the comment. What worried me most about this particular comment, I had a whole thread with another woman the other day. And again, it started off being about Joseph, but then it was mainly digs at me and how rubbish a parent I was and how awful I am as a person, etc., etc., etc. Again, you see like a very small percentage of our day. a very small percentage. And Ben probably films more than I do. But you see a very small percentage of our day. Now, I will get people telling me if I include the children in a vlog, then I'm exploiting my kids. If I don't include the children in a vlog, then I'm showing off. I'm talking about myself too much. You can't win with people. You can't. And I'm not even going to try, because I literally, like I said, I don't care. I don't care. I know that I'm a good parent. I know that Ben is a good parent. I know that we are very good parents, and that our family is amazing. We are very lucky to have the family we have. Our kids are amazing. And yeah, there's a lot of things that we want out of life, and I want better for them, and I want a better house for them, and I want to do better for them. And I'll do everything I can to do that. But, you know, we have people phone the police, people phone social services, people phone environmental health, people phone all of these people trying to get us into trouble. What are you doing? Do you know what I mean? What are you doing? If you don't like us as people, go watch something else, because the fact that you stay on my page and you stay watching our stuff and you continue to hover in the background liking comments, that troll comments that are made, and there you are liking them again, it's really weird and it's really sad. Yeah, just move on with your life, go somewhere else, find something that makes you happy, because being on the internet certainly does not make you happy. So go and find something that does. It's just really, really weird. I know that I have not got time for that kind of stuff at all. So it's just whatever. Anyway, as I was saying, I'll get to the point in a minute. The reason I highlighted these particular comments that were said was because this person says they are a mental health professional. They are apparently a mental health nurse, making comments like autism is an illness that can't be helped, and saying things like, you know, you're not autistic because you look people in the eye. These are views that are wildly outdated. And to think that this is actually a person that deals with vulnerable people, it's really scary. I think that is a really frightening thing. Whether or not it's true that they are a mental health nurse, I don't know. But like I said, this is what worries me, is we have your standard troll, like I said, ones with food all down the front and all that sort of stuff, little flats in Wales and stuff, don't go out. And then you have the ones that are just normal people in society, that are just filled with so much hate and rage inwardly that they have to spout it somewhere. But this is a medical professional. So how many of these people that are medical professionals or people in positions of power have such bigoted views? Because I'm pretty sure if you're in a position of power like that, then you shouldn't have such bigoted views. Because she tried to gaslight me into it, suddenly turned from being about Joseph to being about me and how I needed help and how this was wrong with me and that was wrong with me and I was a terrible parent and, you know, I'm wrecking my kids' lives. It came from nowhere. Like I said, I've blocked this person before on another page because of comments that she's made previously. But yeah, I did press this one today because she said that she had experience in the field. So I asked her what experience she had in the field. There's a lot of armchair professionals as well. People that come on saying this and that and, you know, I know this because I saw this on Grey's Anatomy and I know this because I've seen this. Somebody said that once about people with autism and it's this and it's that. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, my life, honestly. And this is the problem with inclusion and acceptance, is there is so much misunderstanding in the world. How can we have a world where our children can grow up safely, where there are still people that have views like this? How would I be able to trust any one of my children that might need mental health support? How could I trust a system? I already don't trust the system. That's not even in this vlog. That will be a topic for another day. I am already extremely disillusioned with lots of systems. How could I put my faith in somebody that's supposed to be a professional? We're supposed to put our faith in people that are professionals. Yeah. How can you trust people when they have views, such bigoted views and outdated views? It really concerns me, because, you know, you don't know. Some of our kids have had to have mental health support. And you don't know when people might need that support in the future. And to know that those sorts of people have views like this, it's really worrying. People in positions of power, you've got people, teachers, you've got doctors, nurses, you know, people that you are supposed to look up to and respect, and just wrong on so many levels. It really concerns me. Really concerns me. Right, I'm now sat in the car waiting for them to come out of the cinema. I was filming, then I realised what the time was, and I thought, oh, I better go out and get them. So they should be here in a minute. Florence is at home with Olivia because she did not want to come, because she was helping Olivia eat her lunch. So that's where she is. So anyway, that's what I was talking about. I was talking about the whole, you know. So the things that always happen when you get comments from trolls, etc., or people, they say, these people always say, it's just my opinion. Yeah, my views are just my opinion. Normally when challenged about something that they've said that's not very nice, they'll say, well, it's just my opinion. So the thing with opinions is everyone's entitled to an opinion. Also, your opinion is not fact. So my opinion is not fact. Nobody's opinion is fact. It's your opinion. It's your view on something. So if you are going to put your views, your opinion on somebody else's page, then those views or opinions are there to be challenged. So if you can come onto my page and put your opinions about something that I've said, you're challenging me or anybody else on my pages can challenge you back. So like I said, your opinion is not fact. If you don't want to be challenged on something, then don't put your opinion on my page. Don't come onto my page, put in your opinion, and then when someone challenges you back or calls you a troll or whatever, because that's basically what you are. When you're putting something that's really not very nice, nasty or whatever, and you cover it up by saying that's just my opinion, that's just code word for, it's just, I don't like you. I wanted to put something nasty, but now you're challenging me on it. I'm going to say it's my opinion. It's free speech. If you can come onto my page and put your opinion, any one of my pages, and you have the right to put all the people are always telling me how they have rights and they can put whatever they want. It's a public forum. If they want to put something down, they can. Yeah. Okay. Then it works both ways. I can challenge things. Anybody on my page can challenge things. If they don't agree with your opinion or your view on something, then, you know, they can do that. And if you don't like that, which some people haven't liked this week, when people have been challenging them on something that they've said and they've been called mean or whatever, they don't like that. They don't like that, and they start getting nasty. That's when they start getting really nasty with things. When you challenge them and say, actually, no, that's not right. It's this, it's this, it's this. And you're just, you know, being mean or whatever. Then they get really nasty. So, as I always say to my kids, if you're going to write something on the internet, make sure it's something that you would say to somebody's face before you write it. Because if you have to think twice about whether you're writing it, then maybe you shouldn't write it. Maybe you should just stay away from the internet, because maybe it's best that it doesn't get written down. I always think twice about what I'm going to write or what I'm going to say, because I think, you know, like I say to the kids, would you want me to see that, or would you want, you know, would you say that to somebody's face? If you would say it to somebody's face, who knows, you know, but a lot of you wouldn't say it to my face. A lot of you wouldn't come up to me and say things to my face. And therein lies the problem with keyboard warriors hiding behind their screens. But anyway, that's how I feel about these things this week, because it just gets a bit tedious sometimes. Really, really does get quite tedious. And these people, they never just go away. Do you know what I mean? They keep coming back, and then they say things like, I'm leaving now, I've had enough. And they come back again, like 2 days later, and you're like, what are you doing? And then you block them. People say, just block them and ignore them. I block them, I ignore them. They make a new account, they come back. Yeah, we've got people who make multiple accounts to keep coming back. They'll make a new account every day and come back. On my TikTok, I have people that make a new account every day just to come back, say the same things. I block them, they come back. I block them, they come back. I block them every single day. The same things. And you're just like, I'm not the one with the problem here. Yeah, I'm not the one making multiple accounts to go and troll people because I don't like them. That's not a me problem. That's a you problem. But anyway, they're going to be here in a minute. So I'm going to finish this video. And what I really want to say is, if anybody is in the same kind of stage as I am at the moment, obviously we've been going through the diagnosis process with Joseph for nearly 3 years now. And it's a really long process, even more so for us because he's homeschooled. So it's even more, we have to go back through CAMS, because although the paediatrician agrees with our views and everything else, it has to be a multi-agency thing. So yeah, we're on a different path at the moment. Our paediatrician is great. She's wonderful. If it doesn't work down this path, to be honest, they're not used to dealing with children that are homeschooled, so they're not entirely sure how the process will work, because it's normally children that are in school. And then that gets an input from the school or school setting, educational setting, should I say. And then there is the paediatrician, and I mean, Joseph has actually got occupational therapy coming up as well. So that might help towards a diagnosis with him, because obviously that's another professional setting. What I want to say is, it used to be like a 2 or 3 year waiting list. It's now 4 to 7 years. We might not get an actual diagnosis for Joseph until he's 8 or 9. If anybody else feels that they are awaiting a diagnosis and they're kind of in that limbo, you know, and they're frightened of using the language autism and things like that because they don't have that official diagnosis. They're frightened of accessing support because they don't have that diagnosis. They're frightened about talking about it online, or asking people online, or just getting, you know, a mum's group support or something, or joining a support group because you don't have that official diagnosis. Don't be scared, because you have as much right as anybody else, and the community itself, 9 times out of 10, is more than welcoming, because you are not the only person that is awaiting that diagnosis. Do not feel like you are alone. Do not feel like you're alone. If you're one of those people on my account that is calling me out or whatever, I'm just not interested. You have serious issues. You have serious issues. We are talking about a child here. You might not like me, but we're talking about a child. But like I said, if you are in the same boat as us and you're awaiting that diagnosis, or if you're already diagnosed, or you have all that sort of thing, you're looking for support, you are always welcome on our page. I can hear them coming. You're always welcome. And there are always places that you can look for support. Always, always, always. Never ever feel, I don't actually think that's my children, never feel like you're alone, ever, because you're not alone. Don't ever let people make you feel like you're alone, because you are not alone. But like I said, there'll always be support on our pages for people. Don't ever let people gaslight you into thinking that you don't know best for your child, because you do. You are their parent. You are the person that spends the most time with them. You know best. Yeah. Ignore people. Just ignore them. And look for the good ones. And there are plenty of good ones around. They outweigh the bad ones 100 to 1. But anyway, that's it. I'm going to wait for these guys, and then I've got a mad dash to get home and then get Noah to work. So I'm off. I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. Don't forget to drop us a like and subscribe if you're not already, please. Everything, all the links to everything we do are in the video description below, and we will see you in the next video.